Alright guys and girls, those are like Magic the Gathering, other known as MTG. By the way, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Also hit a like and tell me what you want to see in the comment section. You can see our top 8 deck on MTG Arena, where we go undefeated in the best of 3. And also Aldrain drafts and M20 drafts. But here's the thing, when Theros comes out, there's 20 spoilers that have been released, and this is the reason why I think Questing Beasts will go up in value. But did you know that they reprinted Ancestral Recall? Yeah! Theros leaked out. It's funny, when they did the spoilers, automatically they were able to print the cards that came out. Ashiok, Nightmare Muse, we'll talk about that in a second. But they were able also to flex their muscle and reprint Black Lotus with alternative art and symbols. They're also able to print a Mox Jet with different, and a Mox Sapphire, and an Ancestral Recall. The power of 9. Actually, this is only the power of 4. But they were able to do that. And Ashiok, Nightmare Muse. Now, you might be wondering, wait, what's going on? Wait, did you just say you could play with a Mox Jet? Ancestral Recall? Draw 3 cards? Oh, that makes Spectral Sailor look like crap. You know? Hello, Simic Flash. Old Simic Flash. But yeah, Ancestral Recall. Just draw 3 cards. I was like, what? Okay, now, I played Magic the Gathering since 1994 when I was a wee little kid, till 2004, came back in 2011. I've seen every decade of Magic the Gathering, and I remember Ancestral Recall. And actually, I own one of these. And so, I said, wow, that looks a lot different. So they were able to do that. And it's kind of, so people are saying, well, can Wizards actually make Pioneer happen on MTG Arena? Can they actually make this happen? I think if it's financially, economically doesn't go against Magic the Gathering Online. Because if they do Pioneer on Arena and Pioneer on MTG Online, then guess what? It's kind of like having a dollar store and then another dollar store across the street from each other. And you're probably like, that's already happened. You know, hashtag everybody shopping on Amazon. But the thing about it is that, so they kind of dropped this deuce on everybody. And, yeah, so we also have Ashiok, Nightmare Muse. So a lot of people, so I've been saying that I think Questing Beast is going to go up in value. Now, we've seen this already happen once, right? Field of the Dead gets banned. Questing Beast goes up to $40 from $18, so it goes from 18 to 40. And then people buy Questing Beast. Now it's down to $15. So you bought Questing Beast when they were 40. Oko gets banned, and then Oko went from 60 to 30. Yeah, you got hosed. But the thing about this is that Ashiok and Nightmare Muse, yeah, it actually, this card is actually really good. I think Questing Beast is going to step right in here. Create a 2/3 blue and black Nightmare creature. So it's got a 3 body, but only 2 power. So it's got 3 toughness. So it's kind of like a bad version. It's kind of like a good version, like Ugin. Remember like the knockoff version of Ugin in War of the Spark? Create a 2/2. It's a plus ability. Create a 2/2. Put a card face, in exile. If the 2/2 creature dies, you can play with it, right? That thing. Yeah, well, this is create a 2/3 black and blue and black and Nightmare creature token with whenever this creature attacks or blocks, opponent exiles the top 2 cards of the library. So what's great about this says each opponent. So when I talk about gameplay and all that type of stuff, I'm talking about purely from a collector or player standpoint, as in standard or modern. I'm not talking about Commander. Okay, I really wouldn't really care about Commander. But if I were to play Commander, I would be that jerk that plays with this card because it says each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. And I think that's sweet because it affects not just a target player, but each and every opponent. I would be that person. Yes, I would. I'd be like +1 ability, but drop a deuce, 2/3 black, blue and black Nightmare creature, whatever. That's pretty long to say. But guess what? Everybody exiles 2 cards. So if you attack me and I block, everybody exiles. It's each opponent. And then it's -3 ability. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That feels like Teferi Time Raveler. So this is much better because this targets non-land permanent, just everything besides a land. Then that player exiles a card from their hand. Nice. And it's -7 ability. You may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponent owns from exile without paying their mana cost. Again, You may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own. Every Commander, you have this written. I would be playing with this in Commander. I'd be that person. I'd find a way, smash it in there, and play just because of this. Just because it's annoying, and I would do it. I'd be that person. Like, I don't care about your 5-colored command. This, I would be playing with. Just to play with this card. That would be the card that I'd be playing with. Because it looks annoying. But I think Questing Beast is going to go up in Shifting Ceratops. And by the way, as we're talking about things, it's kind of crazy that they're able to reprint Ancestral Recall. Now, I just want to bevy this for a second here and preface this, is that you can only do this on MTG Arena, and it's not an official reprint. It's just they're celebrating Magic the Gathering, and boom, they're reprinting it. But I just wanted to add that little notation there that if they're able to do this, and they also reprint a little bit more. And by the way, jazzy card, because this is kind of like an Ancestral Recall if you have 7 mana in a creature, and you can ramp up your creature with Nissa that Shakes the World. But let's also, why do I think Questing Beast is going to go up in Shifting Ceratops? Well, notice that this is black and blue and black. So look at all the Fire of Intervention decks, right? Look at them. Just look at them, right? Jizaki Fire of Intervention, dropping, all their elementals. Different forms of Fires of Intervention. And I think Oko, had he not been banned, Oko kind of stopped control decks, if you will. Because here's what they do. Now I'm going to get back to really quick. So pause that in your brain. And let's go for a second to the other Planeswalker. And this is why Shifting Ceratops. So let's pause this for a second. So let's go back to Shifting Ceratops. If you don't know what that is, let's go to decks. We'll keep on talking about this. It takes a long time for this to load because you'll see all the decks that I've created. Yeah, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a second, a minute or two. But yeah, so you can go ahead and check out also my Drain draft and also my M20 draft. It's right up there. You can go ahead and do it. But as this is kind of swirling around and doing that thing, we'll go to the Simic deck. That's deck number 70, but just pure memorization. Yeah, we play with a sideboard. And I do this on the sideboard, Questing Beast. So, Questing Beast, remember those creatures were 2/3 creatures? Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures of 2 or less. When it deals damage to an opponent, it also deals that much damage to a Planeswalker. The Shifting Ceratops, protection, this can't be countered, okay? Because literally the card says the spell can't be countered. It literally says that. It's got protection from blue, so no Teferi Time Raveler. It's -3 back to your hand. It's got protection from blue. Okay, that's the one thing that it has. And also, Sorcerous Spyglass. If you look at my video, I made a video that says the top 10 cards that can get rid of Oko and 6 cards that can get rid of Oko faster in which they can cast it. Now, I did that 12 hours before Oko got banned. And I did that for a reason, because I embrace solutions, not excuses, aka bannings. And here's the reason why. Basically, Wizards was basically telling you, and I'll get back to Theros. But basically, what Wizards was telling you, here's Oko, here's a powerful Planeswalker, but we're going to reprint a card to deal with those things. As Sorcerous Spyglass enters the battlefield, look at an opponent's hand. Right there's good. This is an artifact. It can be played in any sideboard, but you actually have to play with a sideboard. I know a lot of new players are playing on MTG Arena, and that leads to the best of 1 matches. So you're getting used to only playing no sideboard. And I think that's the one reason why a lot of people were just wanting it was like 50-50. People didn't want Oko banned, just Veil the Summer. Because if you ban Veil the Summer, then they're saying you could kill Oko very easily. And other people, so I understand it. Because I play online, on MTGO, on MTG Arena, and in real play. So I see it from that objective optics, those 3 optics. But you can look at their hand, then activate it, so you can choose any name. You can name any card. You can choose a Black Lotus, like the one they reprinted in Theros for MTG Online, but it's really not reprinted. Okay. You can choose any card name. Any card name. You can choose anything. Big Teferi here, Dominaria, little Teferi, the mini-me Teferi, Teferi Time Raveler. Activated abilities of those sources with a chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. And look at Oko. What is all of its abilities? They're all activations. If you see -1, +2, -5, all activated abilities. Okay. Now, notice Shifting Ceratops is a 5/4 and Questing Beast is a 4/4. Let's go back. Bam. Theros. Let's get up in there. Okay, so now you'll start to notice something here. That blue-black is going to be very powerful. Right? You notice that blue-black is blue-black-white. Like Esper, like control decks needed more. Oh no, they do. And they get it right here. Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis. Now, some people are just ranking on this card. They're like, this card stinks. Okay, contextually, it depends on what you're talking about. So, but now, what loyalty does this have? It's got 5. Let's go back to the other planeswalker really quick. And we might notice something happening here. What's this loyalty? Oh, 5. What is Shifting Ceratops? It's a 5/4, protection from blue, can't be countered, and you can give it haste. Nice. So let's go back to Elspeth. It's not the moon's nemesis, it's the sun's. Okay, so here's the thing. So it's -1 ability, up to 2 target creatures you control. Each get +2/+1 till end of turn. You're like, but it's a minus ability. Oh, that should have been Oko. These should have been all minus abilities. It's -2 ability. Create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens. Okay. And -3, you gain 5 life. And the mechanism escape, you pay 4 and 2 white. Exile 4 other cards from your graveyard, and then you can just cast this on the field. Blah. Okay. So it's basically like a recurring thing. Now imagine this in a control deck. Esper Doom. So you can create a 2/3 creature, then give it +2/+1 till end of turn. You can create 2 1/1 blockers to block them to block creatures in the early game, and you can gain 5 life, and you can keep on recurring this. Yeah. So it's when you're contextually, I could see this actually getting some type of play. I think we're just seeing the Esper colors just getting that much more better. We're already seeing Fires of Interventions in Standard like crazy, different versions of Fire Interventions, Jizaki Control, then you're seeing Esper Doom, then we're seeing Black, Blue Control. Notice the theme here, Control. So I really think that Shifting Ceratops and Questing Beast, they're going to go up in value. I think Questing Beast definitely is going to go up in value. So because of these reasons. But if you look at Theros as a whole, very interesting just from a perspective. It's very interesting just right out the gate. And they decided to reprint Sol Ring. Yeah. And Black Lotus and Mox Pearl. So this gets me to a greater point. If they can do this, could Wizards fundamentally, because as soon as they released the spoilers, they were able to slam these into Arena. Now, if they can do this, program these cards, design cards, new artwork on these cards, and do all this type of stuff, technically, could they do Pioneer? Could they go beyond Pioneer in the future? I think that's been answered. If it economically makes sense. And so what I've always said with this is if it makes sense. So obviously it's going to be versus Magic the Gathering Online. So if Magic the Gathering Online, which I play on for Modern, is doing really well on Modern. Standard, it's not so well. So MTG Arena has this niche on Standard. Makes sense. But now, here's the thing. So if we look at this, we can say, yes, they could do it. They could do it, but would they want to do it? It's like if you live if you live in the Midwest, or if you live in the Northeast, it's like if it's cold outside or something like that, it's like, do you go out with all your buddies, go out with have a guys' night out or whatever it is that you're doing. You're like, yeah, I feel like it, but then it's snowing outside and it's 30 degrees with a wind chill that's -10. It's yeah, but do I need to? I want to, but I really don't need to. That's, I think, where they're at right now. Do they, they can do it. Do they want to do it? That's going to be the question. Because they could do it. Do they want to do it? So it'd be the equivalent, like I said, opening up, I don't know, 2 hot dog shops right next to each other, or 2 dollar stores next to each other. And you're like, oh, that's already happening in my city. Well, or town, or village, or wherever you reside. But so here's the thing. It's possible. And they could do it. I think they showed it. They reprinted Soul Ring, Lotus, Mox Pearl. Again, they even want to Sword, Fire, and Ice. And, you know, they're just able just to continue doing this. You know, they're able to do it. And so, to me, you know, is that from Weatherlight? So they're able to bust it out. Crusade is even a reprint that they're able to do. What's the sad part is that when I was playing Magic the Gathering, I still do, but I'm just saying it's back in the day, when I was a wee little kid, they would reprint some of these cards to allow new players to have access to them through 4th, 5th, 6th edition, and allow old players to still have their cards still be relevant in the new format. You know, on the rotating format. So it was a win-win. And they also, instead of creating all these bannings, they also, what they did was reprint cards that dealt with other cards. So like, look at Field of the Dead, right? So Field of the Dead got banned. Like, I thought this was going to be completely about Theros, but you're talking about 3 different topics in one video. I know, I understand that. All right, so when Field of the Dead got banned, right? When Field of the Dead got banned, what if they would have just reprinted Ghost Quarter or Field of Ruin? That could take care of that. So that's what the core sets, you know, not what women wear, but like core sets as in, you know, like in Magic the Gathering core set. That's what people, you know, that right there is what they used to do. They used to reprint Birds of Paradise. Dark Ritual. How dare they reprint Dark Ritual? That's okay, because they reprinted a card called Counter Spell. Not a counter spell, it just said counter target spell. It was for 2 blue, it was a counter spell. The name of the card was actually called Counter Spell. In red, they reprinted Ball Lightning. They reprinted cards to stabilize the format and allow new players to experience those cards and older players to have their cards still be relevant. I said it twice, I know. So here's the thing. When they keep on banning cards, little Tommy boy over there who, you know, spends $100 on a booster box, or, you know, 90 to 100 bucks, or like 88 bucks in shipping if you buy it online, you know how it works. But if Tommy boy goes over and spends 100 bucks on a booster box of Aldrain, and he opens up an Oko and it gets banned, he loses out. He loses the money. But on MTG Arena, if something gets banned, you're kind of happy because you get reimbursed with wild cards. You're like, yeah, that's great. But the person in real life loses out on the money. They're the ones losing out. And so I think we have to, you know, and from a collector standpoint, though, you need new players. You know, I'm not somebody that sits on a throne and says, ooh, I own Mox, you know, Emerald, and I own, no. Because here's the thing, you need both. You need new players, and right now, new players are learning to play without sideboards. Right? You're learning to play without sideboards, because that is how the online world is working. In fact, there was even complaints on the live streams on Magic the Gathering in the best of 3 matches that they take forever. So people want things fast, quick, and unfortunately, it's led to no sideboarding and more bannings. Because if you're not sideboarding cards, you're not going to main deck Sorcerous Spyglass, the card that I showed you, that could deal with these planeswalkers. It should totally shut them down. So that's a sideboard card. So then people were complaining, well, we have to have our sideboard cards in our main deck. It's like if people just played with sideboards, and, you know, I understand that. So there was 2 schools of thought, and 50% of people wanted Oko banned, and the other 50 did not. And that's just different perspectives on the gameplay. But here's the thing. For Wizards to give you all this animation, hiring programmers, hiring designers to do all this to provide you with reprinting a Black Lotus that you'll play with maybe for like a week or 2, then it goes away. Just joking. But I just think this is a really good flex for Wizards to show you that they can make Pioneer, they can make Modern. If they wanted to, they could. but do they need to? I go back to that reference. You can go out with your friends, but if it's, 20 degrees outside, wind chill -10, do you really want to, meet up with your friends? I mean, so here's the thing. You're like, heck yeah, fist pump the sled ride. All right. Well, Lynn, I know you live in the Midwest and Northeast. All right, so nothing wrong with that. So you have Mox Pearl, Mox Black Lotus, and then we go over Baby Got Back, and we go over to this right here. Bam! So they're allowing you to play with this. It's a great thing. Let's see. As you can see right here, they kind of throw in some reprints and keep things current with you. So Control Magic, yep, another card they reprinted. Pretty good card. I remember that. Yeah. So they're just throwing in Power 9. So yeah, I think they have the ability to do it. They're showing you right now. They have the total ability to do that. But as I was going back to that analogy, yeah, so when you look at that with old players and new players, I think what it is that sometimes there's a huge delineation between the two. And the fact, to get all these animations, guys, if you're just an online player, that's fine. Just an MTG Arena player, that's great. But here's the thing. To get all this animation on these cards, it took 25 years. It took a quarter of a century of Magic Wizards making money to give you this product. That's the bottom line. And to do that, they get that through physical play. So without physical players, you don't get this. So when people cry out for, and the same people that are crying out for all the bannings, when they did mass bannings, everybody then complained. So what I'm trying to get at here is that you have to be very mindful of the people that physically play. Because when I see bannings, I just think about that little Tommy boy that buys that Aldrain box and he can't go back to the local game store or go back to the online place he bought it from and say, oh, they banned Oko. Here's proof that I pulled it out of a booster pack that I bought off you guys. Can I have my money back for my booster box? They can't do that. And once upon a time, they doubled down. They double deuced on that thing. They banned that from Standard and they banned it from Pioneer. When is there not a Pioneer banning? Just tell me when. But here's the thing. So when you have that, and then physical players are saying, so if you bought Oko at $60 after Fill the Dead got banned because it shot from 30 to 60 for like 3 weeks, then it got banned, you just got hosed out of $240 if you play Standard because Oko has no value to you. Now they did go from 60 to 30 and now it's rebounding up to 40, but you still lost a lot of money. If you bought Questing Beast 101 from 18 to $40, now it's down from 40 to 15. You just lost $25 for each Questing Beast that you bought. You bought a playset, you're out $100. That's a free booster box, depending upon where you get it. And so this is what's happening. So feel free to share and like this video and comment down below. What are your feelings about this? What do you guys think? Are they going to, do you like this? I was kind of like, yeah, this is kind of cool, but it shows me a greater thing beyond than what we're just seeing for a couple weeks. What we're seeing is that they have the ability to easily do this, to give you some old reprints with some new cards as the spoilers release. They're able to do it. And they're able to do it very well, even to the point where you have alternative art mixed in the picture. It also brings up, I think, another issue is with the future sets. I think before we scream out for bannings, we just look at cards that can deal with certain things. And so Esper Control is going to be huge. It already is. Grace's Control is going to be huge. This card screams it. Or you can be like me, and if I played Commander, I'd play with this card. I would like literally tutor just to get this card to play it, just because it says every opponent. I would do it. I'd like every opponent you take. If that's all I did during the commander match, I would be that person to do it. That would be me. I would just do it. Like, just totally do it, right, Becky? Like, yeah, bro. Yeah, seriously, I would just be that person. Like, hey, I block and everybody. Everybody does it. Everybody, each opponent. So I thought that was an interesting card read on here on ashiok. I think a lot of people are missing that it says each opponent on its +1 ability. And then its -7 ability. It says your opponents, as in singular, but it can be plural. So I think that's a very interesting read on the card as well. I think some people are missing that part. But yeah, so this is part of the deck right here. Mox Sapphire, Mox Jet, Black Lotus. I have something philosophy. It's like we go from Ancestral Recall, like right here. It's like they're teasing you. It's like, here's the Ancestral Recall, and here's Spectral Sailor. You pay 1 and draw 3 cards, or pay 4 and draw 1. It's like, hey, not only we're going to tease you, we're going to put it right next to each other. Right there. Yep. There's the hello, and there's the dagger. But going back to 5-mana planeswalkers. So I think Shifting Ceratops is going to be a great card because it's got protection from blue. It cannot be countered. And Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures that have toughness 2 or less. I think that is going to be the thing. So I think Questing Beast and Shifting Ceratops going forward, I think it's going to be a good thing. So there they are. Here's the thing, and just some extra things to think about. So comment, tell me what you think about. Do you think that, I mean, honestly, they're going to go through with Pioneer? Do you think they can eventually do Modern in the future? And also, what do you think about these new cards? And did you view this card differently when it said each opponent? I don't know. Commander players, if you play Commander, let me know, because I'm not really a Commander person. I probably don't even sound like one. But I mean, it's like, is there a way a Commander player sounds like? Not really. I just noticed Commander, a lot of people that play Commander, they're the most relaxed people. Like, honestly. I'm just like, man, I wish I could feel like that. But no, I studied health sciences, so my background, obviously, is I studied occupational therapy, pathophysiology, pharmacology. And so sometimes if I talk really fast, sometimes my brain moves faster than the words that come out of my mouth. So when I'm talking on something, like, great example, when I was on surgical rotation, I literally would go 3 days and no sleep and still have to focus and be very sharp, very accurate, very precise. And you'll see that in my gameplay. So in my gameplay, if you're like, wait a minute, how did he know what type of deck they were playing with when they just played one land? Like, how did he figure? It's because when you use analysis. So for example, and like, so if somebody has 2 lands and they have 2 lands in their opening hand, and they have 24, 25 land in their deck, and they have approximately a 120% chance by turn 3 to draw a land. So I know that it's more than likely, probable more than not, that they're going to be able to get a land on turn 3. Also, with using now you're like, well, how do you know how many lands people have in their deck? Everybody net decks. Everybody copies each other's decks, so you're able to do that. And then from doing analytics, being able just to experience so many different hands, playing in real life, playing on MTG Arena, playing, seeing every Decade of Magic, I'm able to sit there and have the experience. So when you have analytics and you have the experience, you can kind of sit there. And sometimes in my matches, you'll see me kind of sometimes overthinking at times as well in my matches. So I do make mistakes, as you'll see in my matches. But if you want to see my matches, go ahead and check them out. Again, MTGA top 8. We go undefeated, the best of 3. You can also check out the decks. We go to Mythic status, the highest rank that you can get on MTG Arena. I show you the deck that led me there. So we kind of do those things, and I also do drafts. If you like that type of stuff, again, subscribe. But for this video, the greater question to me is, what do you guys think about Theros so far, and what do you think about these reprints? Just very briefly. And what do you think about Pioneer going forward and on MTG Arena, possibly? Could this be a sign to you? You tell me in the comment section. Again, I don't make any money off these videos. I'm not selling anything to you as of yet, right? But you can help the channel by subscribing, sharing, and liking. In the comment section, tell me what you think. And just type in MTG subscriber. That's it. All right, guys. Until next time, have a good day. Thank you.